All right. So we can graph circles. We can identify the center and the radius from the equation of the circle, but that only works when that circle's in standard form. So what we're going to look at more circles, but we're going to look at ones that are not in standard form. Okay? So the thing is, you can't really identify the center and the radius to graph it from. Now, let's look at what's the standard form of a circle? X minus h quantity squared, all right, plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. All right, so now, if it's in that form, you can tell me the radius, you can tell me the center, and then from that you can graph it. All right, but what if it's not in that form? What if it looks like this? Okay, and you look at that, you don't even realize that is a circle, do you? That looks nothing like this, does it? Okay, so how am I going to be able to tell what the center and the radius is of this? First off, I don't even know it's a circle. Okay, it is. It's a circle. So really what we have to do to get the center and the radius is we have to switch it from this form, which is not the standard form, to this form. Okay? Now, this is a huge question. How does it change from this form to this form? Magic. No. That's my summer job at Hogwarts. I'm confused. Okay. All right. So that's a serious question. I mean, how do you begin to even switch this to this? So give me some ideas. I bet you got some right ideas in the beginning. What do you think? Yeah. Okay. Transpose. There's a specific one here that you just want to get rid of. Yes, this one. So you get rid of this one. Okay, so that's a start. Most people figure that out. Okay. All right. Here's the other thing. You don't really have like terms here, but you have some that are, closer to being like than others, right? As in these two, right? Okay, both of these, they're both in terms of x. This one's x squared, but they at least have an x. Same thing with these two. So what you want to do, you want to transpose this, you want to get rid of this and throw it on the other side, and you want to take these two and at least write them next to each other. You can't combine them, can you? Okay. But at least write them next to each other like this. So we do x squared plus 4x. So notice, I'm not transposing 4x, am I? I'm just moving it over a little bit. Plus y squared minus 6y. And we'll transpose minus 23. So it'll be positive 23. Okay? So most people kind of halfway figure out that's at least where you start. Now, but still, how are we going to make this look like this? Okay? And that's the $1 million question. No. A lot of people say to factor out of x. No, that doesn't work either. You're trying to get this to a quantity squared. And it's something that we've done. We just haven't done it in this context. Square root? Is that what you said? No. Nothing to do with square roots either. We got 40 minutes to figure this out. We can do this. Y'all think about it. There's a hint somewhere. I'm not going to say where because then you'll know exactly what to do. I said that last period and everybody looked in the back of the room. No, it's not back there. It's up here somewhere. No, nothing to do with imaginary numbers. It's almost as bad as Matthew's. Matthew said something about the reciprocal. It's nothing to do with imaginary numbers. Fifth and sixth period figured it out. Now, sixth period took a long time. All right, yes.
You add 4 after 4x.
Uh-huh.
And 9 after.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's it.
13 after 23.
Yes. Okay. Now, let's see what she's talking about. She said to add 4 right here. Okay? All right? Watch. Yes. That's it. Okay? You, listen, you complete the square. Okay? Now, here's the thing. What you're going to do is you're going to complete the square for the x's and the y's. You do it twice. Okay? Does that make sense? What happens when we complete the square? I get a quantity squared, right? Now, look on the board. This was the hint. Okay? All right, see I completed the square right here on this problem? Okay, so right here, x squared plus 6x plus 9, when I factor that, that turns into the quantity squared, right? And that's what I want for a circle, is I want a quantity squared. Okay, so the only thing is you have to do it for the x's and the y's. Okay, so x squared plus 4x plus blank plus y squared minus 6y plus blank. Y'all see how I'm doing it twice? Okay. Equals 23 plus blank blank. Now, I usually don't put 2 blanks. I just say what these two are together. Okay. Now, this is what she was saying. What would go here, she said, was what, a 4, and here would be a 9. Does that make sense? So how do we complete the square? What do you do? Half it and square it. So the 4 and then the 9. And so over here, instead of saying plus 9 and plus 4, you could just say 13. Does that make sense? Okay. Or you could just do plus 9 plus 4. All right. All right. So y'all see where she got that from? Good job. Okay. And you figured out the idea to complete the square. Yeah, you do too. I'm going to get you one in a second. You don't want one? You can give it away. All right. You just made a friend. You just made lots of friends and some enemies. All right. Now, here we go. So what's going to happen is this is going to factor to something like this. Not necessarily with that minus sign, but something like this. So let's look. What's factors of 4 that add to be 4? 2 and 2. Signs are the same, and then they're both plus. So it's x plus 2 times x plus 2, or x plus 2 quantity squared. Okay? All right, this one. Factors of 9 that add to give me 6 would be 3 and 3. Signs are the same and both negative. So y minus 3 times y minus 3, or y minus 3 quantity squared. Okay? And then over here, 23 and 13 is almost 36. Okay. All right. Now, that's in standard form, isn't it? Okay. So that magic step is to complete the square. So you probably don't remember me saying this, but I told you when you solve quadratic equations by completing the square, you could always do the quadratic formula instead. But when you deal with conic sections, you have to know how to complete the square. Okay? So that's like the magic thing. Okay? Now, from here, so you couldn't tell me here, but now you can tell me what the center and the radius is, right? What's the center? -2, 3. Okay? And then the radius would be 6. Okay? And then we could graph it from that information. Okay, now I'm just going to be just a little bit lenient so we can just get the job done here today. This is what you're going to do in your homework in a second. You're going to switch it to standard form, and you're going to name the center and the radius. It's going to say to graph it. Don't worry about graphing it today. Okay, we graphed them yesterday. That's good enough. Okay? All right, let's do another one. You want to do another one? Okay. this one. All right. Let me get a. That bothers me. I don't like that. That's dirty on the back. Save.